Where did they come from, and where are they now? Let's rewind to the beginning. 38 Special was formed in 1974 in Jacksonville, Florida, a city that by then had already birthed Southern rock giants like Lynyrd Skynyrd and the Allman Brothers Band. The band was co-founded by Donnie Van Zant, the younger brother of Skynyrd's lead singer Ronnie Van Zant, and guitarist Don Barnes. At the start, 38 Special leaned heavily into the Southern rock genre, following in Skynyrd's footsteps. Management quickly set the group up to open shows for popular acts such as Peter Frampton, Foghat, and Kiss, and got them signed to A&M Records, who assigned Dan Hartman of Edgar Winter Group fame to produce their first album. Their early albums, 38 Special in 1977 and Special Delivery in 1978, showed potential but didn't make much of a commercial splash. They were gritty and guitar-heavy, but lacked the mainstream appeal they'd later master. Everything was about to change. In 1981, with the help of producer Rodney Mills and songwriter Jim Peterick from the band Survivor, 38 Special pivoted their sound. They traded raw Southern rock for a more radio-friendly blend of arena rock, pop melodies, and tight harmonies, but still kept just enough Southern flair to stay true to their roots. That year, they released Wild-Eyed Southern Boys, which featured the massive hit Hold On Loosely. It peaked at number 27 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became their breakthrough. The success continued with Caught Up in You from Special Forces in 1982, their first top 10 hit. If I'd Been the One from Tour de Force in 1983, another top 20 smash. Back Where You Belong reached number 20. 38 Special had arrived. They were Southern enough for the rock purists, but polished enough for the FM dial. And in a time when MTV was booming, their clean image and catchy hooks gave them crossover appeal. From 1984 through the end of the decade, 38 Special was a touring machine and a reliable hitmaker. Their blend of rock swagger and pop hooks made them arena favorites. They toured with REO Speedwagon, Bon Jovi, and Huey Lewis and the News. Their albums during this stretch, Strength in Numbers in 1986 and Rock and Roll Strategy in 1988, continued their success, spawning hits like Second Chance, a softer power ballad that surprisingly became their highest charting single, hitting number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100. But even with the hits rolling in, things began to shift. As the 1990s hit, music tastes began to change. Grunge, alternative rock, and hip-hop dominated the charts, and bands like 38 Special struggled to stay relevant. Key changes began to affect the band. Don Barnes left the band in 1987, replaced by Max Carl from Jack Mack and the Heart Attack, who brought a more R&B influenced vocal style. Their sound began to drift from their roots, and while the band still toured steadily, album sales declined. Max Carl sang lead vocals in their biggest hit, Second Chance. Carl was also lead singer on The Sound of Your Voice, which reached number 33 in 1991, from Bone Against Steel in July 1991, which saw the group moving from A&M to the American iteration of the British label Charisma Records. Eventually, Barnes returned in 1992, restoring some of the band's original magic. Despite the challenges, 38 Special never officially broke up. They adapted, leaned into their legacy, and became a staple of the classic rock circuit, playing festivals, fairs, and casinos. In 2001, 38 Special was dealt a major emotional blow with the death of Ronnie Van Zant's brother, Lynyrd Skynyrd bassist Leon Wilkeson. Though not a member of 38 Special, the Southern rock family is tightly knit, and the loss hit hard. That same year, they released A Wild-Eyed Christmas Night. In 2004, they released Drive Train. Then, in 2013, co-founder Donnie Van Zant retired from touring due to inner ear problems. Though he never officially left the band, he stopped performing live. He and Don Barnes had long been the two pillars of 38 Special, and Donnie's absence was deeply felt. Still, Don Barnes pressed on, fronting the band with a rotating lineup of talented players. As of today, 38 Special is still active, but mostly as a legacy touring band. Don Barnes remains the sole original member still performing, and his voice continues to carry the band's spirit. On July 11th, 2025, the band announced they were releasing their first album in 20 years, titled Milestone. This announcement was accompanied by the release of the album's first single, All I Haven't Said. Their current live sets are high-energy nostalgia fests, packed with Rockin' Into the Night, Hold On Loosely, Caught Up in You, and a few deeper cuts for the longtime fans. They've never stopped bringing their classic hits to fans across the U.S. They're not chasing the charts anymore, but they are keeping the fire burning for those who grew up on their Southern rock anthems. So, what happened to 38 Special? They evolved, they adapted, and like a true Southern rock outfit, they endured. From their gritty beginnings in Jacksonville, to the slick heights of 1980s radio rock, to their modern-day presence on the road, 38 Special never fully disappeared. They just found their lane and kept driving. They may not be on the cover of Rolling Stone anymore, but in small towns, state fairs, and classic rock playlists, 38 Special is still very much alive. So next time Hold On Loosely comes on the radio, don't just sing along. Tip your hat to a band that never let go of what made them great.